Well, I hate to think of this as a failure video, but you know what? When you're making craft projects with no real experience, just the drive to want to try something, sometimes you just don't have the knowledge of how to do the thing, or sometimes you just don't really have the right equipment. So, um, I can show you a couple of things that I did that came out okay. I struggled with it, but I completed it. But then I kept staring at those pieces of wood in the garage, thinking, I know I want to make platters with them. And then realized, once I really looked at them, two of them are just not possible. The way they're hacked up with the chainsaw, and one of them's got such big splits in it. There's just really no way to make anything out of either one of those. And then the long one that I decided to try to take a better look at, man, I've been out there. Oh God, I've been out there for over 2 hours now, hacking away at that thing, trying to figure out a way that I can turn that into a platter. And I finally just had to give up and admit defeat. So let me throw together this quick little video to show you what I'm talking about. Not really a failure video. Let's call it a lesson learned, maybe. How about that? That sounds better. It's a project that I saw on Facebook. I downloaded the picture, printed it, and went in the garage because I had some slices of wood that I've had in the garage for years. And I thought, I can make this. I drilled into the ends of each slice of wood and glued in steel rods to attach them one on top of the other, but still they weren't stable. So then I made brackets, and I put brackets attaching each one. And then I even had to go buy a bracket to attach the bottom round to the base, and then buy the paint to spray paint it with the orange and the black. And then I used my paint pens to paint the faces on them. And it came out pretty good, and I gave it to my nephew and his wife, and they call it the Three Amigos. This is another of those paint by numbers I got from Temu. And here's my pumpkins this year that I painted. Here's another project. This is my Jack and Sally banner that's over my garage door. This thing is huge, also from Temu. And while it looks like I did nothing with it, I actually folded all the edges over on it, put grommets all the way around it, and strung bank line all around it. And then I had to go buy eye hooks and screw those into the four corners of my garage door opening there, and then attach it with bank line to the eye hooks. It was a little bit of a workout, but I got it up and it looks fantastic, I think. Okay, here's my package that Howard from Cabotbluegill sent me. I had asked if anybody had ots, because I have 3 large pieces of maple that's in the garage that I want to make like a serving platter out of. And Howard said he had an ots he's sending me. Oh, look at that. That is so cute. I'm guessing Howard carved it. Isn't that cute? What do you guys think? Hey, you guys like him? No? I do. Too bad. Anyway, he said he was going to send me the ots, but he also was going to send me a bunch of pieces of wood that I could use for carving, which is very cool. White birch. Look at that pattern in there. Isn't that pretty? Butternut. We talked about this before. He had told me about butternut before, and I said I'd never heard of it. This is such a pretty color. It's like such a creamy color. Red oak. Wow. Let's set these over here. Boy, this gives me ideas. Let me tell you, I'm going to have to get my carving knives out, which I was just thinking about doing. I'm guessing this is cedar. Look at the grain on this. White birch. Sumac. Red oak. Very dense, very heavy, like you'd expect oak to be. Butternut. I like that butternut. It's so light, and it's such a pretty color. And sumac again. What's this? Thorn apple. This is really heavy.
piece of wood. Again, it's pretty. And then he said he was sending me a bunch of little mushrooms. Let's see if there we go. Are these real? Like, would you dry them out? I've never seen such a thing. Now here's the handle, part of the handle from the Otts. Ooh, this thing is big. Oh, Howard, I don't know. Let me, oh, it's heavy too. Let me get the camera, set the camera down and unwrap this. Okay, I got a better look at these little mushrooms. Come on, focus, focus. That he sent, and I'm so stupid. I for some reason thought maybe they were somehow some kind of a mushroom that dried out and maybe grew where he lives or something. But what they are, he carved these. These are tiny little mushrooms, all different sizes in this box. They're cute little things that he carved himself. He said to me, maybe I could paint him or to come up with something to do with them. And in the meantime, of course, here's all these pieces of wood that he sent me. To carve or do something with, and my thinking cap is kind of on. The shape of them being round is what's giving me pause. What can I carve out of these? Most of my wood blanks are square. And these always, whenever I see round blanks like this, it makes me think of ferro rod handles, which I haven't made any ferro rod handles in a long time. And these are already, he's already had these on a lathe. I'm guessing he turned them on the lathe because they all appear to be about the same size. But the one that really grabs my attention is this butternut. It is so light. And like I said, I've never seen butternut before. I find it very fascinating. The other one, of course, is a thorn apple, which is probably the densest piece of all. It's very heavy. It actually reminds me of fat wood because you know how fat wood is so deceptive. A piece of fat wood, you can pick it up and not realize how dense and heavy it really is. And that's what this reminds me of, this thorn apple, which I've also never heard of. I'm not much of a wood connoisseur, I must admit. But I'm guessing this is cedar. I've been told there's cedar in the area I'm at, but I've never seen it. I would definitely remember it because it's got like a flaky bark. It's also very light, but I can't get over. Let's see if I can get a good shot of that. See that pattern? That's very pretty. And the white birch, which I'm guessing the birch that we have where the campsite is, our family camps, with a lot of pine, cherry, birch. I've always called it white birch, but maybe it's not. It's got the white bark that peels off on it, and it's not river birch. But I have been told there's one called silver birch, so I'm not sure which kind we have. I'm pretty sure it's white. In any case, the beavers love to chew it and knock it down all the time. So when we go up to camp, one year they actually blocked off the road into the campgrounds by chewing down the birch tree and dropped it right across the road. But a friend of my niece's has some property, and I was talking to him about the kinds of wood that I've turned, and then I had watched a video about birch, and he said that he had quite a bit of it on his property, so maybe he'll turn up with some birch that I can make a bowl out of. But in the meantime, I got to put my thinking cap on and come up with an idea to carve these beautiful pieces of wood that Howard sent me. And again, thank you so much, Howard, for sending me such wonderful gifts. All right, I've got it unwrapped, and this is very big. What I was looking for probably would have been half this. This is a good 4 inches across, and it's not curved. It's a straight blade, which what I was looking for was a curved Otts to be able to carve out the wood pieces that I have. I'm going to take that in the garage and set it next to the wood so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the pieces of wood that I have. That one's the longest one, and that's about 24 inches high. That one right there. And that one over there, that's about 14 maybe. And then this one right here, also probably about 14 long and real thick. And here's the aughts that he sent. I just set the handle in there that he included. And you can see it's pretty big for what I had wanted. Let me get this. All right, so I knew I was going to have to mark this off and possibly get my chainsaw and cut a wedge off to make this all the way across. And then this one's got a big split in it. I don't know if I'd be able to work with that or not. And then smack it with the aughts to get it hollowed out. But what he sent me is essentially the size of the wood. So it's, I believe, Howard, that's way too big for what I need it for. But we'll see if I can't use it on the edges or whatever. You'll have to excuse me for being all out of breath. What it is I have my allergies kicked in today, and every time I bend my head down, my nose just starts dripping like a faucet. So I'm snuffling and out of breath from running from the house out to here and moving those blocks around. They're very heavy because they're solid maple. So here's the aughts that Howard sent me. And it is what I thought. It's 4 inches wide. And what I really need is something like a 2-inch wide one. And I also need a curved aughts, and this is not. But it might be used on the outside of the rectangle of the bowl to shape it. Get a piece of cardboard over here. Set that aughts over there. And basically, that wood is kind of shaped kind of like that right now. And what I need to do is cut that wedge off the top so I have all this part to work with. And then what I would want to do would be kind of get it to a shape kind of like that. And then, scoop this all out. And of course it would be however deep. I don't know, it's probably 4 inches deep, 3 inches deep. But to get this part out, I need smaller aughts. I need a 2-inch wide curved aughts. So I guess I'm still on the hunt, even though I think I can use this one to work on the outside of it, to get the outside into shape. And of course, I got to put the handle in there properly. I've got some wedges here somewhere that put in there, and so the handle stays. But wow, Howard, I appreciate what you sent me. All right, so I tried whacking on this with an axe, a little axe that I have, and I said, "Oh my God, it'll be 2050 before I ever get done." So that's not going to work. And so then I realized what I need to do is just whack off these corners and make this a little bit more manageable. And it also takes some weight off of it so I can wrangle it better, because right now I can barely move it. It's just so heavy. So I got this little saw that I bought, which I don't know how good it is because I don't have a regular, like a handsaw. I don't think this is going to do it either. No, the blade's too little. All right, now what? I don't know. I'll have to look around and see what other kind of a saw I got. I could try to use the chainsaw and knock that off. Let me try that. Well, it took a while, but I cut this corner off with the chainsaw. And let me get this out here. Just to show you. This is, what does that say, 6? Yeah, 6 inches thick. But the bowl I want to make, or the platter, obviously wouldn't be 6 inches thick. Plus, while I'm looking at it, with the see, it's hard to do this, try to move this big piece of wood. There. That's what I'm dealing with. I can't go all the way across. Because this itty bitty little, and then it goes, woo. So, to be able to do anything with it, I'd have to cut it, like right there. Which is only not very big. If I did it that way, it would be, yeah, about 13 inches. Oh, this seems to be a project that I may not be capable of doing. Because this is bark up till right there. Put it back on its side. I don't know what it weighs, but it weighs a ton. So then, if we're saying that I got to get away from this little piece on the end, this skinny little piece, it would only be like about like that. So I'd have to cut that big whole piece right off there. But then I still have the problem of it being 6 inches thick. Which would be okay, but like I said, I don't have the right tool to do this. All I have is these tiny little hand tools. I don't even have a saw that does that. I would have to get the chainsaw back, which it's my little electric chainsaw, and cut that off. And then the corners again. And then try hacking away at it, which I was doing earlier with a gouge, a little hand gouge, and I got that and I said, oh my God, it'd be 50 years before I get this done. I think this might be a project that I cannot do. I don't have the right tools. So I'm going to call this a failure video for now.